Welcome to a Trail Sports Wax Clinic here up at the Canmore Nordic Center. Today I'm going to show you how to fully apply Klister to your classic skis. Klister is a type of grip wax, mostly used in very icy conditions or very wet conditions. So when it gets warm, around 0 or above. Klister is a very sticky application process, but it does deliver excellent results in those harder to wax for temperatures. A couple of the things that you'll need are firstly your klisters. So we use a base klister. A base klister is not super necessary, but it will really help the klister stay on your ski, especially when the conditions are icy and very abrasive. And then you need the klister itself. So a very all-around klister is the universal klister, but there is a very large range of klisters that you can use. So just choose the best one based on your temperature there. A klister spreader. This is excellent to help you avoid getting your hands all sticky. Some medium grit sandpaper to abrade the base before you apply the base klister. A heat gun. A heat gun's very useful just to allow the klister to spread more easily. And an iron to apply the base klister. We don't recommend using the same iron to apply base waxes, base grip waxes as we do glide waxes. To start, we want to abrade our grip zone a little bit. So you have your marked grip zone that is based off your weight. We can, at Trail Sports here, we can figure out that grip zone for you. You just want to look where your grip zone is and just do a couple passes with the sandpaper down the ski there in the direction of the ski. The klister zone should be a bit shorter than your normal grip wax zone. So if your normal grip wax zone is between my fingers here, you'll probably want to do the klister zone a little bit shorter there because it is a bit of a thicker product. It can sometimes help to heat up your klister just a little bit with a heat gun or a hair dryer before you apply it. It'll just let it flow. And once you've done that, you want to find where your klister zone will be and just do diagonal smears of klister about 2 to 3 centimeters apart down your grip zone. Once you've applied the klister, you can use the heat gun to heat it up a little bit so you can spread it easier. And then you can use your klister spreader to just spread that a little bit. Once you've spread that over the ski, you can take your iron here, heat it to 100 degrees. And just melt that in a little bit. You can also use your thumb or the heel of your hand there to get a nice even spread. And then once you've applied your base klister, you can apply your top klister. Again, heating up the tube a little bit before applying it. And following the same application process as the base klister. I prefer smoothing it with my hands versus the Klister spreader just because you can get a more even spread. And now your ski is all klistered up. Let that cool down a little bit and then enjoy your ski.